Hi, I'm Ange and I had one too. I found out I was pregnant earlier this year and it would have only been a few weeks since I had gotten pregnant and I just felt odd. And then a friend was like, just take a test. And then I did and it was positive and I just couldn't believe it. It felt really unreal. I was in shock. I called my best friend. I was like, this has happened. Fucking pregnant. What do I do? And she was super supportive and she'd had one a while back and I was there for her through that too. She's like, "Babe, we know how to deal with this." We even joke. We used to call it the shmush motion, which is like a Family Guy thing. She's like, "We'll deal with it." I still felt shame wash over me. And, I at the point was almost 30. I work in sex education. I'm incredibly passionate about female reproductive rights. I know a lot about it. I did my master's thesis in sex education. I always assumed that if this happened to me, I'd just be completely logical, practical, cluster of cells. If I don't want the child and it's not right for me, then that's fine and I'll just whatever. But I couldn't believe how much it affected just my mood state. And no part of me wanted to have the child. No part of me regretted that decision. But I realised that I had underestimated and not understood the hormonal impact. It felt like my whole body was just like, great, we're pregnant. Keep it. I was like, nobody. We have lots of other things to do. My mum came with me to the clinic. I knew all about where to get them and how to get them from, my study and my interests. I just called up, you explain what's happened, how far along you think you are, and you set an appointment. The second I saw the nurses and the doctor, I felt this wave of calm because I realised that these are medical professionals who have dedicated their lives to giving me access to this fundamental human right, and I have nothing to feel ashamed about. You wait in a hall. There were lots of other people waiting as well. And one thing that also really struck me was we were all completely different. And there were older couples, different races, different single women, couples, young, middle-aged, older. It's just something that happens when people have sex. It cost about $400 in Victoria, which I was lucky enough to be able to pay for. Then you have to get into scrubs. And then a nurse comes and gets you. And then it's at that point that you're on your own. For the rest of the time, I had my mum there with me. And you could have whoever you wanted. There were girls there with their friends, there were people all being supported. At that point too, I realised this is quite medical because you're in, a surgery. And then you're up on the thing. The doctor explains, we're going to put you under. There's an anaesthetist there. They explain that, they're scraping the uterus to remove all the lining, including the fetus. It gets sent away and checked for the fetus. And if it's not in there, you might have to come back. The anaesthetic worked so quickly that just kind of everything went blurry and I was out. I came to and it had been, I think, maybe half an hour. It was actually amazing. When I woke up, all that haze I felt, all that weirdness I felt while I was pregnant had gone. And I felt like, oh, I'm back. Had a bit of reflection in that time of being thankful to my uterus and kind of sitting with myself and my thoughts. That wasn't your time, gorgeous uterus. We will have time. And knowing that this was what was best for me first and foremost. That's what was best for me, but also was best for my future children. I'm at the very start of my career. Going and getting pregnant, it just wasn't in my plan or what I needed. And I envision I might have a bunch of kids later and they will have a mother who wanted them and it was at the right time and with someone she wanted to have them with. And I have never once doubted my decision, not for a second. Another thing, when I was then telling friends about it, she was like, yeah, Ange, and the other people that, you should feel empowered by, all the incredible people who came before you to fight for your right to this. It's not something we were just handed. It's something that people legitimately lost their lives for, and lots of women all over the world have died without this. And so that was really powerful. And I thought, fucking oath, thank you to these generations of people that have given so much for me to have access to this. And it also has totally impassioned me even more to be so there for the fight, to make sure not only does everyone have access to this, but does no one have to go through this bullshit shame.